Yes, I feel great. Nice to meet you too. Sure. My name is Kangyeon Lee, 2018 MPP student. I'm currently working as a researcher at Korea Institute of Public Finance, and before that, I worked at Korea Health Industry DevelopmentInstitite. After I finished my master's degree, I moved to KIPF last year. Yes, I chose MPP program because I thought that it could both satisfy my academic and career aspirations. In academic point of view, I wanted to deepen my knowledge as my first major at university was health policy and management. And in career perspectives, as I've worked in public sector and had policy experience, it seemed to be interesting and can be a good way to develop my career as well. And there are 3 reasons why I chose KDI School. Firstly, I wanted to overcome my complex in speaking English. As I never lived abroad and grew up in a small county in Korea, speaking English was a challenge for me. And as KDI School adopted English as its official language, it automatically meant that there should be a lot of opportunities to speak in English. So I would no longer be afraid of speaking in English if I get trained here. Secondly, I wanted to make many foreign friends. As lots of students from different countries are studying at KDI School, I thought that it would be a lot of opportunities to connect with and communicate with them. Lastly, location is convenient. As KIDI is located in Osong and KDI School is located in Sejong, it was convenient for me to visit school often. Yes, my concentrations were PF, Social Policy and Public Finance, and GP, Global Political Economy. And as there are lots of great faculties in KDI School, I learned a lot from them. Yes, there are lots of great faculties, but there are 3 faculty members who all had great impact on me. Firstly, Hee-suk Yoon. She was my research supervisor. And I took 2 of her classes, quantitative methods and social security and welfare policies. She was so smart and her classes were interesting. One of her characteristics in her class was she kept asking us questions anonymously. Oh. Yes, and I desperately hoped that she wouldn't call my name. And she called students' name like this, Miss Lee, Mr. Jung. Yes. But by doing so, it gave me a pause for thoughts and reflected on what I learned before. So I learned a lot from her. For example, I got a glimpse into types of welfare states and the differences between them. And secondly, Byung-ju Kim, and I took 3 of his classes, Global Governance and Issues, DMD, Democracy, Political Mobilization and Economic Development, and IP, International Political Economy. Before I took his classes, I didn't have much interest in international relations, but after I took his classes, I started to have interest in this field and could understand why each country behaves in a certain way. And he made every student makes presentation at once after studying some class materials. And by doing so, I could understand lecture contents better and got confidence in speaking English in front of others. Lastly, Dong-seok Kim. I took his input and output analysis class, and it was the first time I used data when research. At first, I had to struggle with using it, but I knew that it has helped me to become a better researcher.
So maybe we can ask you some know-how afterwards.
Yes. Yes. Firstly, a master's degree is a prerequisite for becoming a researcher at KIPF, and its great curriculum gave me a competitive edge as an applicant. For example, its academic knowledge and analytic skills. I think it is important to identify your dream companies. You should have time to research your dream company's mission, vision, and goals, and what your roles and responsibilities will be after you join that company. If your dream company doesn't appear to be a good fit with you, then you might end up quitting your job. Then once you decided that this is the place where you want to work, then you should read through job posts. I mean that if you already fulfill the job criteria, then you make sure you keep up to date with job posts. But if you think that you are not sufficiently qualified, then you can fill the gap by referring to that post. They will tell you a shortcut. And I think flexible thinking is necessary. What I mean is that if you cannot fulfill one of the essential criteria in job spec or person description, then it will be impossible for you to join the company. But if the condition is just recommended or desirable, then you can make up for it with your other strengths. For example, when I attended an interview at KIPF, I didn't have much research experience compared to other candidates. Thus, I had to convince interviewers that I was an equally worthwhile applicant. Thus, I explained to them, one of my strengths is I always try to develop myself. Once I'd become a researcher at KIDI, I decided to study further and achieved a master's degree as a part-time student. And after that, I took an HSK level 5, which is 汉语水平考试, Chinese language proficiency test, which was one of my longest held dreams. And now I'm here to develop my research skills. Even though I didn't have that much research experience, as always and as ever, I will try my best to overcome my limitations and upskill myself. Lastly, reading through some insightful posts or insightful reports published by that company and briefly reference to it at an interview can be a good way to show your interest in that company. I think so too.
Are you enjoying them? How's
Yes. Well, actually, I've heard this question so many times before from my bosses, from my coworkers, from my friends. I'm quite satisfied with my life here. Sejong is a very peaceful place and I like this atmosphere. Moreover, I could spend time more with my family. I had to leave my family when I started my high school in Jeonju and went to university in Seoul. One of the reasons why I chose KIDI and KIPF is I could live with my parents again. Well, I don't think I'm the best person for giving advice, but I am someone who has tried hard and done my best to develop myself. Since I was young, I've always wanted to contribute to building a society where health rights are protected. I mean that people's rights to live a healthy life regardless of their background. With that core mission, I've set my career, choosing my majors and my jobs and so on. The point I want to emphasize here is that having a well thought out career path requires a consistent approach, and in order to be consistent, you need to have your own core mission as a point of reference. For me, I want to become a health economist who contribute to better public health policies. And what will be yours? I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Yes, thanks for inviting me as a speaker and hope you have a great day.
Okay, you too. Have a nice day.
Yes, have a nice day.